Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Pokémon Generation 1. In the last episode, we began exploring Celadon City, including the Celadon Game Corner here, where I gambled, and I lost a lot, and I'm not excited to have to play this off-screen. This time, we are going to be heading into Team Rocket's hideout, which we discovered after defeating a Team Rocket grunt who was staring at a totally not suspicious poster. Let's go. None of the items here are particularly hard to grab, but it is worth checking this tree for a PP up. Increases the PP of one move by a set amount depending on how much PP it already has. It's a pretty good item, but it's not as important as some of the other stat increasers. Now, as we went over in the last episode, there are quite a few Pokemon obtainable as prizes in the Game Corner to go over. Only one Pokemon is exclusive to the Game Corner, but this is the first instance of most of them being obtainable, so here we go. In Pokemon Red only, Nidorina. We have access to Horn Drill TMs and X accuracies now. Nidorina also gets access to all sorts of moves through TM, like Ice Beam, Bubble Beam, Thunderbolt, Body Slam. We can also evolve it pretty much as soon as we obtain it, since it evolves via Moonstone into Nidoqueen. The main thing that changes with Nidoqueen is the fact it can learn even more moves through TM. The female line for Nidoran is much more focused on bulk, being able to take a lot of hits and fire back with moves that, while lacking in power, have enough variety that they can still do some decent damage. But hey, if you don't have a Nidoqueen already, I doubt you're going to start using one now. And in blue version, it's Nidorino. Everything I said about Nidorina also applies to Nidorino, with the main difference being in their stats. Nidorino hits harder and takes less hits in return, and not to repeat myself too much, but everything I said about Nidoqueen also applies to Nidoking. Though it admittedly does get slightly more moves through TM, Nidoking is a good use for the Rock Slide TM we received at the department store, and can also get good use out of Thunderbolt if you haven't used it already. Just be prepared to wait a while to get the TM for Earthquake, the best ground-type move in the game, because Nidoking can't learn Dig. Dratini is notable for being the only Dragon-type Pokemon in the game. Dragon is a purely defensive type, having no damaging moves that aren't set damage moves, but making up for it by resisting Grass, Fire, Water, and Electric. The only weaknesses of the type are Ice and other dragons, which don't have any purely offensive moves that aren't influenced by type effect moves, so only Ice, which isn't a very common type. Dratini itself gets decent use out of the Hyper Beam TM and comes knowing Thunder Wave and Wrap, but just keep in mind that you're stuck with the stats you see here until Dratini reaches level 30. Upon evolving into Dragonair, Dratini's stats improve quite drastically, with every stat going up by 20, and it gets access to Horn Drill, which, well, we've already talked about how good that is. However, if you don't want to stick with these stats until pretty much the very end of this journey, I wouldn't recommend Dragonair. It won't evolve into its final form until level 55, the highest level evolution requirement in the game. This essentially forces you to be stuck with Dragonair's just okay stats and purely defensive typing until the final boss of the game, if not later. And that's just a hard sell. And as a result of this level requirement, I'm going to hold off on talking about Dragonite for a while longer, even though it doesn't appear naturally in the wild. Yet another version exclusive, this time it's Scyther. Scyther is, in my eyes, the clearest example of a Pokemon completely missing its potential in the game. It's decently fast and has one of the highest attack stats we've seen yet, but it's going to be relying on Slash as its main attack throughout its entire life. Sure, it gets Swords Dance to buff its attacking stats, but that hardly matters when setting up at all as a near guaranteed knockout to any special attack. If you're using Scyther, you're just going to be spamming Slash for the over 90% critical chance, occasionally using Hyper Beam against some tougher walls, or if you're playing Yellow version, using its only stab move, Wing Attack, at level 50. Wing Attack is a 35 base power move. Slash does more damage almost 100% of the time, and that's the only buff they gave Scyther. I'm sorry, but I just can't recommend this Pokemon in this game, which is a shame, because Scyther is cool as hell. This next Pokemon, I had a guest write this bio, Aiden Antipop, one of my oldest and dearest friends, who has been nothing but helpful throughout the course of creating this LP, and who our rival is named after. Available only in blue and yellow versions, it's Pinsir.
Oh yeah, baby! Best bag! fucking go, Pinsir!
Pinsir is essentially Gen 1's strongest bug type besides Venomoth, which, given the size of Gen 1 and how many bug types there are in that game, means pretty much nothing. This isn't to say that it's without its utility, however. Pinsir has pretty sizable physical stats, albeit without quite enough HP to leverage any sort of bulk. Its speed is by no means impressive either, but don't let that fool you. Given the amount of slow, bulky critters and paralysis victims running around in Gen 1, a healthy Pinsir can certainly find its moment in a given battle. The real stinker here is its move pool. Without any good bug stab, Pinsir is left to scrounge around for anything else that could be useful. It's perhaps best known for Bind, a partial trapping move it gains only in Pokemon Yellow at level 21. It learns its best attacking moves through TM, gets Slash at level 49, and the powerful setup move Swords Dance at level 54. Don't let that distract you from the fact that this fucking bug only learns normal and fighting moves. What a headache. Last but not least, Porygon! Actually, scratch that. Last and very least, Porygon! The main draw of this Pokemon is its access to Recover, which restores 50% of the user's HP rounded down. This leaves it able to stall out some serious powerhouses. In verses only, but since AI opponents in Generation 1 have unlimited PP, all Porygon can really do is use Thunder Wave if it somehow manages to outspeed, and switch out to let her better Pokemon take care of the threat. Porygon will have its day, but it certainly isn't in Generation 1. I've been trying to give Lamp a chance to do some battling because she hasn't really had the opportunity to. But she just got her ass handed to her by a Zubat. Like, I had to use a potion in battle for the first time. So, yeah. Unfortunately, just because of the level that she was received at, Lamp is gonna be having a pretty hard time here, like, pretty soon after we caught her. Anyway, these tiles will send you spinning in whatever direction the arrows on them are pointing. Very slowly. If I thought Route 9 was the bane of Twitch Plays Pokemon, oh boy, I had not thought of this area when I made that statement. Nugget, though. It's always good to have. This is gonna be sort of the MO for Team Rocket whenever they have a base of operations in the game. It's always gonna rely on silly mechanics like these panels that are kinda clunky and annoying to navigate. TM07. What is this one? Horn Drill. One-hit KO move. Of course none of my Pokemon can learn it as soon as we have access to X accuracies whenever we want. That would just be too convenient. I will likely be cutting around at least a little bit as I go through this, just because of how long the animation takes for spinning around. Also, here's a Moonstone, which means we officially have enough to evolve every Pokemon that requires a Moonstone for evolution in the game. So I will probably be using that on Nidorina and Nidorino. Okay. The main thing here is just pay attention to what tiles lead to where. It's not particularly difficult unless you're a child, because trust me, when I was a child, I could not do this. And I probably had to ask for help. I don't know who I would have asked from, maybe my older brother. This doesn't seem like the kind of thing my mom would help me with. Although maybe she would, I don't know. When I was a kid, I've talked about this before, where my first Pokemon game that introduced me to the series is Pokemon Colosseum, which, for lack of a better word, is a god-awful introduction to the Pokemon series. Because it's just really... not really hard, I wouldn't say, but it is hard for a child when every battle in the game is a double battle, which is essentially a much more complicated form of battle. But my mom would used to play that game, because, I don't know, we had it on the GameCube, and the GameCube was the console we had at the time until we got the Wii. I remember she chose for Alligator. Crunch was her favorite move to use, I think, because the animation looked funny. And I remember she couldn't beat Mirror B, which, if you don't know who Mirror B is, you're missing out. You gotta play Pokemon Colosseum, and XD, I guess. And/or XD, he's in both. But yeah, now she has a hatred for Ludicolo that I think is completely irrational, because I love that guy. It appears to need a key. So we found an elevator, but not much we can do with it. Heading up these stairs, we have a Team Rocket grunt. Who would have thought? Why did you come here? I wonder, could it have anything to do with the fact that you have literally murdered Pokémon? Rattata. Well, it hurts to say that I'm honestly not sure if Lamp can handle this. That quick attack isn't doing much. Lamp can Lamp can do this. What am I saying? I gotta stop doubting Lamp just because she's the weakest link. Just had to open my mouth, didn't I? We have quick attack. It's faster! Shit, dude. I'm so sorry, Lamp. Oh my god. I just want her to be able to win battles. I'm probably actually gonna have to go ahead and grind off screen to get her to, like, relatively high levels. And I mean grind off screen. I don't mean the silly YouTuber grind off screen where it's, I'm gonna cheat. I mean it's the, oh my god, this is gonna take forever, but I can also increase it to 3 times speed, so it won't realistically take that long, but it's still gonna be annoying because it's gonna eat out of my time that isn't spent recording. Ugh. It's fine. It's not a big deal, but just a little bit annoying. We've just finished this with Tackle, don't bother wasting the PP with Bubble Beam. Okay. Vaporeon is up to a really good start, because we got them at a actual usable level. I am recording this before the episode where I ask for nicknames has even gone up, and that's probably going to be the case for a few episodes now. Just because I'm not going to stop recording because I don't have an answer yet, but yeah. Okay. It's weirdly paced because it was supposed to be the same episode where I get and evolve Eevee, but then the shiny hunting episode happened instead because I learned more about Gen 1 shiny hunting and realized it should have its own video. And here we are now. Hyper Potion. Couldn't have been a revive. Do I have any revives? I don't. Can I use an escape rope in here? I can. Thank God. I'm pretty sure we were done with this floor anyway. I just need to heal Lamp. While I'm out, I'm just gonna buy 5 revives. Seems like it'll be good to have on hand when we're training up a weaker Pokemon. I should have thought about that before, but I just didn't. I headed back just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I did miss 1 Team Rocket grunt. Probably not gonna be a big deal, but hey. The more experience Lamp gets, the better. And what do you know, he's leading with a Poison-type Pokemon that I've seen like 12 times in here already. Who would have thought a Team Rocket grunt being somewhat unoriginal? Lamp grew to level 20, beating that Grimer on her own. And coughing. I don't think this can explode yet, so I'll keep fighting for a bit. Lamp just beat another Pokemon on her own, without needing to heal. And another coughing. Okay, you can sit this one out, Lamp. That was good, though. She is getting stronger. It's just very slowly. Lamp is very much the baby of the team right now. And Margarine is the grizzled old lady. I can't do it! You can't because you're a grunt. That's in your name, buddy. Alright, nothing else we can do on this floor quite yet, so we're just gonna go ahead and head up here. And there's another floor, because of course there is. I don't think this is the right way, but sure, I'll fight another guy. We got word from upstairs that you were coming! He'd say the same thing if I avoided literally everyone, including their, like, line of sight, so... I think by word from upstairs, he means, like, divine intervention. God gave him a warning. In which case, this Team Rocket grunt needs to be promoted. This is Archer. This is Archer pre-Gold Silver. That's my headcanon. What? I lost? No! You think they'd give you some stronger Pokemon if you're, like, trying to hold down the fort. TM10, another one. I genuinely don't know what these TMs are. I don't have anything about them written down in my notes other than that the items here are easy to get, so... Double Edge! I don't remember exactly the power of this move. I think it's either 120 or 150, but it's basically just a super powerful version of Takedown. I will not recommend that for Red and Blue, but... in Pokemon Stadium, if you're using the transfer pack, that's a really good move. We'll go over differences in that when we get to Stadium, but... yeah. Just remember this episode, you'll be able to say, I remember when you said that when I say that in Stadium. Okay, going down here. Rare candy. Can never have enough of those. Especially because I had to use one to confirm that Vaporeon is shiny, so... yeah, can't complain about that. You can have enough of those, but we won't for quite a while, at least. You know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, you'll see what I mean. Alright. This guy was not required either. Seems like nobody in here is actually required up to this point, so... that's fun. Rattata. As original as always. Marjoram grew to level 31 from this battle. And don't worry, the rest of his team was equally as original. He had Eradicate and a Drowsy. As to be expected of a Team Rocket Grunt. They're the pinnacles of creativity in this series. Yet another basement floor. Seems like they just can't get enough basements. If only that was the case for everywhere, because basements are actually really important. TM02. Razorwind. Seems like a lot of the TMs we can just buy in the department store already are here. That's just a bad move. There's no way I'm teaching that to any Pokemon I catch. The elevator doesn't work? Who has the lift key? I have a sneaking suspicion that I know who has the lift key. Coughing. The sprite, I genuinely don't understand how this sprite ended up this way. I think I've already said this in this Let's Play, so not to repeat myself too much, but what perspective are we looking at Coughing from? Did it move its face? Because Coughing doesn't have a upside-down skull and crossbones on its back, so it's not like it's just turning. Because if it was, then that would imply that's on its back, upside down. I don't know. That's just a bad sprite. Lamp grew to level 21 and learned Roar. That's the same as Whirlwind, so don't get your hopes up on that being a good move. Yeah, I'm gonna switch out. She doesn't have the best history of dealing with Zubats. Just going for Bite. That probably would have taken out Lamp, to be fair. But as you can see, Vaporeon sort of just has a ridiculous HP stat. It's over 100 at level 27, so... Vaporeon's gonna be tanking a lot of hits here. No! Yes! Oh no, I dropped the lift key! Where? I don't see it. We're standing on it. If you step on that tile in any future remakes of this game, except for Pokemon Yellow, he will simply drop it to the other side of himself. Well, actually, he just drops it after you beat him in future remakes. I don't know what I'm saying, but... yeah, this is the only game where you can get him to drop it underneath you. And we have finally made it back to the elevator. And? Which floor do you want? We have the lift key now, which means we can go to B at 4F, basement 4 floor. This is the correct floor, however, actually I think there are some optional fights on B1F and B2F if we go with the elevator. So... yeah. I really just want to get as much experience as possible. These guys don't leave after we beat the boss of the area, but... I mean... You know me. I love experience points. Lamp grew to level 22 from this battle and also beat this guy all on her own. They grow up so fast. After you defeat him, this door will open, giving you an easier way back to the entrance. If you don't have dig or escape ropes. And that's actually the only optional battle that's opened up by this elevator. I don't know why I thought there was one on B2F. That was the floor we were already on when we got into the elevator. For fighting those guys who are very obviously required, there's an item down here, an iron. It's the item for the defense stats statty XP, so not bad. I know you! You ruined our plans at Mount Moon! Sure did, and I'm proud, bestie. It feels gross calling Team Rocket Grunt's bestie in this specific game. They've killed Pokemon. Like, I genuinely can't get over how, like, just disgusting Team Rocket is in Gen 1. Leading with Sandshrew is not... I mean, I have a Sand Slash already, and that thing was past the level it needs to be to evolve, so... Ekans, really throwing a wrench in my plans here. Alright. Oh, more! Oh, he does have a Sand Slash, okay. Nothing I can't one-shot with Bubble Beam, it's not as strong as Annabelle. Burned again! Do you have something against Team Rocket? I have already expressed that yes, I very much do. How can you not see the beauty of our evil? Man... Oh my god, I'm like... I've never really thought about how gross Team Rocket is in this game, but just combining the things they have done with the things they are saying paints a very, like, nasty picture that I do not like. And I don't like that since the plot of Pokemon Yellow isn't really changed, it implies that Jesse and James are just cool with it in the game universe, which, according to the anime, there are other universes where Team Rocket, Jesse and James specifically, are just a lot better at being evil. I don't like to believe that Pokemon Yellow is that universe. Vaporeon grew to level 28, beating that Sandshrew. And this guy has Arbok. This might actually be our first time seeing one. Vaporeon can handle it. I was about to switch out just to have a type-effective move, but this isn't a Nuzlocke. I don't need to be that pedantic about it. Thank God it didn't poison, because having to go back to the Pokemon Center would suck. I used my last antidote on Lamp. Okay. Ah, yeah, yeah! True. Okay. And in Pokemon Yellow... Not another step, brat! How dare you humiliate us at Mount Moon! It's payback time, you brat! Team Rocket would never stand for this, but these imposters of Team Rocket are here for trouble, and they want to make it double. They're leading with Coughing, level 25, Poison type, knowing the moves Tackle and Smog. It's pretty much the exact same as it was when we first fought them. But trust me, James is still the best of them. He'd never stand for this. Not the real James. This isn't my James. Meowth, level 25, Normal type, knowing the moves Growl, Bite, Payday, and Screech. Give it Slash, guys. I know it doesn't learn Slash until, like, level 50, but, like, just give it to Meowth early. Let him do his thing. In the anime, I think his only confirmed move is, like, probably Scratch or Fury Swipes. So either go anime accurate, or make him busted. Ekans, Level 25, Poison type, knowing the moves Bite, Leer, Poison Sting, and Glare. That Glare can be a little annoying, but otherwise, I don't know. This is, well, I forgot they put a microphone in my Nintendo Game Boy. But Charmeleon hits through it anyway, because why wouldn't he? Such a dreadful twerp! Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again! I think it's so funny that it just plays like a tiny bit of their theme song whenever they blast off. The anime would be better if it did the same thing. Yeah, speaking of me being sad that Jesse and James are just kinda cool with what Team Rocket's doing. They're pretty bad in Pokemon Yellow. Heading onwards. We have a lone man. He doesn't have a couch in this game, which makes him look a little less intimidating. So, I must say, I am impressed you got here. That's all you have to say? Okay. Giovanni wants to fight. Onyx. It's level 25, Rock Ground type, knowing the moves Screech, Bind, Rock Throw, and Rage. Screech and Bind is a pretty nasty combo, but I don't know, coming from an Onyx, it's a little less intimidating. And it's just going for Rock Throw anyway. It saw the super effective move on Lamp, I suppose. This probably is a trainer that uses this game's version of Smart AI, and we'll talk about Smart AI later, because Smart AI sucks, but it's not smart, is basically the gist of it. Rhyhorn. It's level 24, Ground Rock type, the only Pokemon to hold that specific combination of that type, besides its evolutions. Knowing Horn Attack. The leader of Team Rocket, ladies and gentlemen. And that's all it takes. Kangaskhan. Level 29, Normal type, knowing the moves Comet Punch, Rage, and Bite. So, yeah, this guy really isn't the most intimidating guy in the world. Kangaskhan is pretty tough for this point. It's pretty fast, meaning its crit rate isn't bad, and those moves aren't the worst in the world. Did he just use a guard spec? I didn't have in my notes that he has items, and usually I'm listing items that bosses have. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I actually went out of my way to write those down for gym leaders. Still. I don't like that I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, Heket, that Razor Leaf is doing such good damage, but also that Rage scares the hell out of me. You know what? It's gonna die from Poison and Leech Seed no matter what this turn. I'm petty. I hate Team Rocket. I'm using a Super Potion on Heket. Just guarantee survival from this Rage. There we go. Kangaskhan fainted. Heket grew to level 32. And we defeated Giovanni. What? This cannot be! And Heket is evolving! Heket evolved into Venusaur. I see that you raise Pokémon with utmost care. A child like you would never understand what I hope to achieve. I shall step aside this time. I hope we meet again. In the Pokemon Origins anime, he has the same voice actor as Sojiro Sakura in Persona 5. And I know sharing a voice actor isn't, like, that abnormal of a thing, but it's like the same voice, and it's really jarring hearing Giovanni's words in a voice that I just associate with Dad. Anyway. Sylph Scope. This is our key item for Lavender Town, and we will be returning there pretty soon. But of course, in Pokemon Yellow.
So, I must say I'm impressed you got here.
He's always just a man of so few words in Generation 1, it's almost kinda charming. Giovanni leads with Onyx at level 25, Rock Ground type, knowing the moves Rock, Throw, Bind, Rage, and Screech. So it's the same. That sound effect is equally as awful in Yellow as it is in Red and Blue, as you can see. It is the same Onyx. But don't worry, he's about to mix it up big time. Rhyhorn is level 24, Ground Rock type, knowing Horn... Well, he's gonna mix it up though, trust me. Pokemon Yellow really mixes things up. Persian! Level 29, Normal type, knowing the moves Payday, Scratch, Bite, and Growl. So it doesn't seem that intimidating off the bat, but Persian knowing Screech, as well as having, like, any stab whatsoever, that's still a recipe for incredibly common critical hits. And Payday and Bite don't have low power. If this thing uses Screech on your Pokemon, its attacks are going to be doing decent damage, even Scratch, honestly. So, just pray that your Pokemon are up to the challenge. Ivysaur clearly isn't, but he is at least throwing money all over the ground. That's nice of him. Pikachu's my highest level, so I'll go for a double team. It's already missing with Growl, so can't complain about being harder to hit here. Double team increases evasion, or evade as it is known in Generation 1, and apparently makes it so Growl hits me instead of not hitting me. If this thing wants to just keep spamming Growl, I'm fine with that, because my main plan of attack here is just to use Thunderbolt. I'm +2 evasion, and of course it can still hit me. It's the AI in a Pokemon game. Didn't do as much as I thought, but that's because it's not a critical hit. My issue is it has about a quarter chance of getting a critical hit every time it attacks, so just gonna hope and pray. Actually, Quick Attack might do enough here. Nope, that Growl actually made a difference. Oh my god. I cannot believe how awful that sound effect is in Gen 1. But we still win thanks to the poison and the leech seed.
What? This cannot be! I see that you raise Pokémon with utmost care. A child like you would never understand what I hope to achieve. I shall step aside this time. I hope we meet again.
The only difference is Persian, but that Persian is scarier than the Kangaskhan in Red and Blue, so just be careful with that. We defeated Team Rocket in their own base of operations, and that feels like a pretty big deal. But for some reason, the game corner can still run without, like, the people that it requires to run. So, yeah. Oh? Do I get super lucky mode this time? Yeah, I played 5 times and only got 1 win, so gonna say no on that. We defeated Team Rocket in their own base of operations, so next time on Pokemon Generation 1. Actually, come on! Hiket just evolved. I'm not gonna miss looking at her sick new stats. 76 special. Razor Leaf is also a guaranteed critical hit now, even though it didn't fail to be a critical hit any of the times we used it as Ivysaur. Oh my god. This is so powerful this early on. With all that done, next time on Pokemon Generation 1, we are going to be taking on the gym here in Celadon City. See you guys then.